Greetings, beloved. Hi, it's Dr. Amanda Noelle. Today you will get these 7 keys to sacred sexuality, so stay tuned. So sacred sexuality is an ancient paradigm that we are bringing forth into this new paradigm. Sacred sexuality is something that really truly cannot be defined. It's an experience of what is sacred to you with your beloved or beloveds. And I want to give you these 7 keys to inspire, awaken, arouse within you the divine spark that can set forth a new path in your life, your love life, and in all that you connect with. The first key to sacred sexuality is setting a sacred container. In order to have a sacred sexuality experience, we don't necessarily need a nest with lit candles and incense and essential oils, although that's lovely and that's sort of the symbolic aspect that is absolutely encouraged. Having a beautiful space really does arouse those senses. However, when I'm saying sacred space, it's really about invoking sacred space within and between the partner or partners, really allowing the divine to enter the space. And this could be done consciously through a prayer that is done out loud. It could be done by the 2 lovers or more lovers. I don't want to discriminate against anybody. I am finding out there are triple flames and there are all kinds of group experiences that can be very sacred and beautiful. I participated actually in a conscious couples experience where my lover and I were in a room of other married couples or committed couples. That was just so beautiful and divine and sacred, blew my mind. And I will keep going. So that sacred space is set with a soul agreement. That's really what it comes down to. It could be eye gazing. It could be, starting with sacred touch, but really just invoking the divine, whatever that means to you. The second key to sacred sexuality is taking responsibility, healing our wounds. We are human beings, healing the past. As we invoke sacred sexuality, we're bringing in a tremendous potential for healing, illumination. We're clearing out our chakras. We are connecting to the divine. Old wounds may come up in order to be flushed out. This is beautiful. This is powerful. And if we create a container where this is allowed, we're going to actually move forward and heal. If we want to make it look like pornography and we have a prescribed way of being sexual that is not the sacred, that is a suppression or sexual slavery, that is important to clear. So again, in the sacred space, it's important to create a safe space where this aspect of healing can be held. And finally, what I wanted to say about the second key is it's important for those who have been hurt in past relationships or in their early childhoods to take responsibility for their own sexual wounds. As much as it's our responsibility to be concerned about our partners, the most important role is for us to self-care and set our sacred boundaries, to share our histories and be really open and honest to create the safety that we need to open our bodies, minds, and spirits. The third key to sacred sexuality is that there is a deep listening intimacy. There is a safe space for expressing emotions. There is a solid and sacred space for expressing what I like about you, opening my eyes and looking into your eyes. So that deep intimacy and connection. Now, this can happen on a one-night stand. This can happen. One of my soul family members met somebody at a festival, I believe it was Burning Man, and it was like this instant connection. That is like twin flame love. Maybe it doesn't work out for more than that day. There is no judgment in that. Maybe that's not your rule book. Maybe you want to wait for sex before marriage. That's beautiful too. Whatever your sacred soul commitments are you showing up with intimacy? This doesn't have to mean that your genitals are touching. This doesn't mean that you are naked. However, can you be naked with your emotions? Can you reveal a little bit more, unveil who you truly are? In order to do this, this key requires us to know ourselves and to do the deep healing work before we unveil, which is why in my BA programs, the Bachelorette's degree at Aphrodite University, we create a year-long training program for a woman to unveil all parts of herself to herself first as she's preparing and calling in her twin flame. So by the time she meets him or her, she is fully aligned and aroused within her being. And there's this juicy, nourished, healed, and overflowing space for him or her to step in. The fourth key is that there is clear, nonviolent communication. The communication uses I statements, I feel, I desire. And there may be a lot of shame that comes up. There may be a lot of unknown in our sexuality, both within ourselves and within the person that we are dating or people we're dating. So when we are experiencing something new, it's important not just to brush over things. If you're feeling like, I want to share something, or I don't know, just go ahead and share it. Sacred sexuality, the rules are, the keys are that everything is safe to be expressed. And if someone doesn't like to hear something, if they're like, TMI, this doesn't feel safe or good to me, it's their responsibility to speak up, and it's your responsibility to really feel in and check in and ask yourself, does this person want to heal, want to go into this space with me? Do they want to hear this? Do they want to heal this? And then you get to make the decision. If they don't want to go there, do you really want to open and unveil yourself to him or her? The fifth key is that honoring the sacred feminine and sacred masculine as equals is a principal key to sacred sexuality. So what I mean by that is that the sacred feminine and sacred masculine are two aspects of the same whole. The feminine is the inward, emotional, intuitive, watery, kind of sometimes even crazy, splashy, unknown. And the masculine is that external, outside result. It should look a certain way. There's a vision for it. Perhaps the masculine way is coming with expectations. I know I want to be tied up in rope and I want this ritual to happen and I want this. And the feminine is more like, let's just flow and see and feel. So having this perfect blend within our sacred sexuality, that inner world, that outer world, that logical masculine and that intuitive feminine, and playing with these energies and marrying them together, that is part of sacred sexuality. It's not just to have sex, it's to know God, Goddess, the I am self, the Heavenly Father and the earthly mother, and that dance of the lovers in between at the heart space. Now, the sixth key is to really honor the sacred feminine first in order to open to the sacred masculine. This is my opinion. You may not agree with this, but I feel that after thousands of years of the patriarchy, the feminine has been shut down for so long that it's important to feed the feminine first, to regrow her, to water the grass with lots of nourishment from the feminine and to the feminine, so that the masculine energy can rise from a nourished place, that those grass blades can align. So many women are raised with the experience of being aggressively fingered for the first time by a boyfriend, or by having sex be no foreplay and just penetration, and it can be very traumatic. There wasn't a lot of communication. I would love to hear in the comments below if you feel safe to share your first time sexual experiences, possibly with men if you're a woman, vice versa, because these experiences need to be cleared. And when we can actually put them out there and release the shame on them and remember them and heal them and kind of let them go, then we can move forth in sacred sexuality. Most of us didn't have sacred sexual first time experiences. Now, if you did have that, post in the comments below, because I would love to hear about that. They are rare and they happen. So honoring the sacred feminine first could be something like yoni massage, really stimulating the woman first, or doing deep breath work with the partners, really honoring the feminine in both of you, maybe slowly dancing together, just taking things really slow, dropping in with emotions. Now guys, men can often take off at light speed, and we women need to go a little bit slower sometimes. And women, sometimes we don't even know that. We're so trained to keep up with the men, but really we're gonna have a deeper, more cervical orgasm, multiple orgasms, deeper pleasure, more full body experience when we build the water slowly. So really receiving from your man, really receiving from the masculine, and allowing that feminine love flame to build first will serve the twin flame union. That has been my experience. I know with my partner, before we made love, or actually before I even gave him any type of orgasmic experience, although I'll share the story in a moment, but I got guidance to say, you know, I've been pleasing men my whole life, a little bit more. I would always be a little resentful because it takes me more time. I said, Jack, I'm getting guidance from my angels. They told me you need to give me 11 orgasms before we even give you an orgasm. The beauty in this is why this is so powerful, is because without me giving Jack an orgasm, guess what happened? Even before, I think it was orgasm number 6, he had such an intense Kundalini experience and such an intense attraction to my experience and pleasuring that he just fed off of the orgasmic potential that was coming through me into him. So guys, this is a great example of feeding the feminine first will rise the masculine flame through the feminine flame. Now, the 6th and last key is the metaphysical aspect. So sacred sexuality is not just this physical world, it's 5D. It's 7-figure orgasmic sex, like I like to call it. It's the millionaire version. It's not just the everyday come home, fuck your wife. It's not just a pat on the ass. It is deep sacred love, the tantra, the kundalini, the realized I am self within ourselves. So the twin flame union can be expressed and experienced through short-term affairs. It can be a one-time experience. I know I had a lot of judgment about this. I came up not with a Christian background, but my Christian mindset came through, you know, my family. And I felt like it was bad or naughty or dirty, and I found out that it actually opens the nadis, opens the chakras. Nadi is N-A-D-I in Sanskrit, and it's the energy points. Your naughty girl energy can actually, if you hold a sacred sexual context for dating, it can be a beautiful, ecstatic, deep connection. However, the problem is that sometimes we don't check in and see, you know, where is this going? Are we checking in to see if I'm in love with you and you just want to fuck, and we're getting really confused and we're creating all kinds of karmic cords and attachments? That is not sacred sexuality. It's clear, crisp communication, putting things out on the table, saying, I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to take on any negative karma. Here's where I'm at. I'm looking for life partnership, but I'm happy to give you a back rub, or I'm happy to have sex tonight with protection and doing a sacred ceremony, whatever feels really aligned. So that's the thing, is letting go of the judgment, letting go of the fear, and coming from love and being smart, using protection, contraceptive protection, as well as psychic protection, keeping our energy pure, having an orgasmic practice on our own. I teach women in the BA program how to have their own 7-figure orgasms in their bodies without anybody else through masturbation, meditation, and masturbation. It's a powerful practice. It becomes the potential foundation for manifestation with orgasm. If we don't manifest, if we don't masturbate, if we don't have a self-pleasuring practice, we cannot learn how to really run our tantric energy and how to use our mind during sex in a way that manifests. So masturbation, the next level is manifest with orgasm on your own, and the next level is to manifest your twin flame with orgasm, and then to experience your sexual union together, and that can pull in beautiful gifts from the universe. For example, my twin flame and I, we produced a $60,000 day, one of our first times using Manifest with Orgasm. We had gone from a very scarcity mindset, deciding that we didn't want that to be ruling us anymore. We wanted to be able to travel, and we ended up manifesting 60K in a day. We went to France and to Bali and to New York and California all within a few weeks after that experience. It was so beautiful and empowering. And so this 5D sacred union can be grounded here in the 3D, and it has to be a marriage of both heaven and earth. Therefore, my friends, we have these 7 keys. Working from 7 to 1, we have the metaphysical aspect, which needs to be grounded in a safe container. The key number 6 is really starting at that sacred feminine, maybe doing a little bit of yoni massage with an emphasis at the beginning during the sexual encounter. Key number 5 was honoring the sacred feminine and masculine as equals. Key number 4 was clearing the communication lines with nonviolent communication using I statements and really opening from the heart space. Key number 3 was deep listening, intimacy. And key number 2 is taking responsibility for ourselves and our past wounds and holding that space for our partner. And the first key is to create a sacred and safe container for love, for perhaps a lifetime with your twin flame, or perhaps a magical experience on a magical island in Bali with someone special that you'll never forget. All right, my beloveds, so you are invited to the upcoming new moon rock cacao ceremony. This ties in because we are talking about twin flame kundalini. We're going to be manifesting and moonifesting with the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine, perhaps to call in your twin flame or more abundance, to create magic from that goddess space with your sisters. We'll be doing some masterminding. It's on June 13th. We do it every single month, live on the new moon. Don't miss it. It's on Zoom video. To get the link, you want to click the link below to register, and we'll send you the details. Thanks so much for joining. Namaste, namasko, love and light.